Hi there, welcome to Nonsense Whisky. My name's VinPF, and on today's episode we're going to be completing a little set of the remarkable regional malts by Douglas Laing. This one here is the Big Peat, as notified by the big man on front, that presumably is called Peat. Anyway, this one here is the Islay blend. The remarkable regional malts are a series of literally blends from the different regions in Scotland. I've covered all of the 5 main ones. I haven't covered many of the other ones, unfortunately, but I did do a couple of the special editions for the Rock Oyster. Got more of them coming as well, but they've done lots of different versions of them as well. But the core 5 I have covered already, so I'll pop a link up here for the playlist for that. This one here is the Islay blends, and these are all malts. So we are talking not a blended whiskey per se, but a blended malt, all single malts in there. And we're talking about stuff from Ardbeg, Kalila, we're talking about Bowmores or Bowmores, and we're talking about Port Ellens, plus a few extra secrets apparently, so they say in the marketing. It's 46%, non-chill filtered, natural colour, all things that people like. Best thing about this one though is it's 35 UK pounds. Not sure how that goes across the board, but for me, that's pretty much a bargain. Same with the other ones in the remarkable regional malts. In fact, my least favourite of the set is the Epicurean, but I still liked it. I would buy other ones above it, but it's still pretty good for the price, right? This particular one was the first one in that series, and it was brought out in 2009. So 10 years now they've been going for this one here. I think pretty good. They also do different versions as well. They do a Christmas edition, which is at cask strength, so we're talking about 50 odd percent. Sells for about £50–55 in the UK, and they've even got a 25-year-old version of this thing, which I haven't tried yet. That's £190 in the UK, which is getting on to be quite high, I think. But it is a small batch whiskey, which is important to note, because that means that there might be variations. So if you've tried this before, 10 years ago, it might be slightly different now. They blend them themselves, so the proportions of the different distilleries might change. So it's important to update yourself with this one. If you didn't like it before, maybe like it now, it will change, is what I'm trying to say. Let's get onto the dram and see really what this thing's about, shall we? So first things first, obviously, massive amounts of peat. It's not medium peat, it's not little peat, it is big peat. So if you're not into your peated whiskey, it's pretty much going to be a no-go. Certainly isn't a beginner's peated whiskey, that's for sure. But if you're into your peat, I think you're going to find lots to enjoy here. Huge peat nose, but it's not like an ashy, it's kind of medicinally. If I didn't already know what distillers were within this, well, I think I might think Laphroaig was in there, but it's definitely Ardbeg. There's definitely that kind of, that burnt flavour to it, that burning wood. But it's kind of earthy as well. It's almost a little bit sea salty, a bit briny. Lots of sweetness in there as well. Dare I say, a little bit of citrus. More on the lemony side than the orangey side, but I think I can get that. Let's try on the palate. That first moment when you hold it on your tongue, you're not going to get that peat through. That said, kind of getting into peat now. Dare I say that I'm a bit of a peat head these days? Probably. Let's stick with that. But that initial hold on the tongue, you're not getting that peat flavour through just yet. It's all sweetness with a bit of pepperiness to it, kind of spicy. Then you swallow and the waft of smoke goes with it. And we're talking that earthiness comes through again, so it's kind of boggy, but it's not, don't let that put you off of it. It's not a kind of like a dirty flavour. It's not a dirty medicinal flavour. More earthy, less ash and more burning, burnt, that kind of thing, you know, like if you get like your Laphroaigs, they're kind of medicinal and ash, you know, like something that's been burnt and left and is now kind of a bit stinky. I like Laphroaigs, but there's definitely a time and a place for them. This is one of those kind of enjoy by the bonfire drams, mostly because of the Ardbeg, I imagine. You know, there's Kalila in there as well to kind of round it off. The Port Ellen kind of adds a little bit of a different dynamic to it, and the Bowmore doesn't really overtake in there. You know, Bowmore has a very distinctive flavour that some people don't like. That isn't showing itself in here, I don't think. I would wager it's not a very high amount of for more in here, but that's just me, I think. Maybe it's just so well blended that I can't tell. But for me, I mean, it's kind of like an all-rounder for your Islay experience, but it undercuts most of the single malts from those regions. So at £35, it really, to be honest with you, it can't be sniffed at. I think it's definitely a goer from me. I would gladly, although I've only just got a wee sample of it now, I'd gladly have a big old bottle of this. The Christmas ones, I have tried very briefly one on the channel before. I think I did one maybe in my 2007 Christmas playlist. So I'll see if I can dig that video out and put a link up here. But obviously greatly enjoyed that at the time as well. At the higher ABV, I can only imagine it's really good. But for me, definitely recommended. If you get a chance and you were thinking about pulling the trigger on it, now's the time to do it. It's not going to go anywhere, that's for sure. It's selling really well. So for me, it's a winner. Now the remarkable